I'm Eric Hyden.
I'm Nick Mason.
And this is Neon Static. Welcome back for Game 2 in our series from a September 30th GNK down in Boston. And I'm pretty excited about this game. Nick, check these IDs out. They're coming.
Yes. Teia, which we've seen, and the Gnat, which I have never seen in play before.
Right. Gnat is a rarity.
I legitimately thought that Gnat was rotated. Like, I remember seeing it, but I don't remember Gnat being a playable card. Right. So...
yeah, it's in Rain and Reverie, so it's still in the card pool for probably the first half of 2024. Jamie just showing us a list or a preview of their list. We'll get to that in a second. Nathaniel Nat Hall, one of a kind, is an ID that says when your turn begins, gain 1 credit if you have 2 or fewer cards in your grip. So Jamie's going to be trying to keep their hand size down. And get that drip econ through Nat. Dan on the other side of the table is playing a Teia, a version of a list that is inspired by one of Sokka's lists. I believe this is the list that Dan took to East Coast Canadian Nationals up in Montreal, starting the game off with a hedge fund. So Dan, has taken some of the Teia synergy out of the deck for good old seamless, fast advance, audacity triggers.
Yeah, not a ton in the list to trigger Teia off turn, but you can still do some fun stuff with timely public releases and things like that to get agendas down. Okay,
we have the first fire of the price. Jamie's list is called The Price is Right. So
got it.
The synergy that Jamie's going for is to use the price to install lots of cards without having to necessarily draw them, and then play Q-Shooks, which is a card that says name a card cost. And for each of the instances of cards that are installed on your side of the table that are of that cost, you can see that many cards up to a limit of 6, I believe.
Yep.
And then you can sort of pick one, sort of like a deep dive out of the top of R&D.
And the other big thing here is that Jamie has constructed their deck to be mostly 3-cost cards, which is conveniently the discount that the price gives you. So
exactly. The price is right.
Exactly.
That's really fun. Installing an Amakua here, I think definitely having a think about a verbal plasticity, just because early card draw is good. Verbal plasticity is the card that took the slot of DreamNet.
See, I'm kind of surprised to see the Amakua install, because Jamie has the
just stealing an early off-world office right off the bat. Good rip.
But they have the early Audrey in hand, so there's a less immediate need for a breaker,
That's right. Yeah, that's interesting. Getting an Audrey down here, running interesting synergy now with Audrey and Amakua. If you don't trash, you get an Amakua counter. If you do trash, you get an Audrey counter.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. True. Huh.
And Audrey is going to really allow Jamie to sculpt their hand and take them down to the desired 2 or fewer cards for Nat to trigger.
Yeah, the big thing with Audrey and really any of the icebreakers is that you can technically trigger the pump action at any point. You don't have to be interacting with ice. It doesn't have to be during a run. So Jamie now has the ability to dump cards from their hand whenever they want, which is
just any paid ability window, right? So
yeah, exactly.
And they're basically, they're all over the place.
Right. And I mean, you draw into strike funds and steel skins and things like that. And then Audrey just dumps them, and then Nat gives you money for dumping them. It's amazing.
Dan foregoing, I believe, the Teia trigger and icing up centrals, and then putting something else. That by the way, that was a Rashida earlier that fired. I think we saw the card overlay bring it up, but that's an alt art Rashida.
Very early labor rights.
Right. To bring back a price, a daily cast, and a verbal plasticity. A price and 2 3-cost installables.
Okay. All right.
So,
I'm seeing a trend here.
Yeah, there's a plan, and it's pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah.
Jamie, it's interesting, on 1 credit here.
Right.
Is definitely going to be hoping to fire that trigger. 3 cards in hand. We're going to need to see some bounce back econ. And drawing 1 card off of the labor rights there. Okay, this is second click.
That's the price.
With one cost.
Wow.
We see another copy of the price. Buffer drive. Labor
it's got to be
and,
buffer drive. Yeah.
And it is buffer drive. And one might criticize the include of the buffer drive, if not for just the wonderful synergy of it's a 3 cost installable. It works really well with trashing stuff. Lets you bottom a card,
How does
in your deck.
the timing on that work? Because you install buffer drive and trash the rest with the price. Would buffer drive trigger on the other cards you're trashing?
It's the first time each turn 1 or more cards are trashed from your grip. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, it's from your grip?
Missed it.
It's not from your stack? Okay.
From your grip or stack.
Oh, okay. So maybe it would.
I think it misses
work.
it because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jamie would be the person to ask, as
that is fair.
They are Infinite Nutshell on the rules team. Sprint there from Dan. Up on 12 credits, so that Teia can be some pretty nasty ice. What do we think? We have the lists up here. We're worried about. We have Enigmas, Thimblebrigs, Vampirnosa, 3 Anansi, as is expected, I think, out of Jinteki, and then 2 Saisentan, 3 Tatubola.
And just looking at it, the price would not work with buffer drive that way because the price reads trash the top 4 cards of your stack. You may install one of those cards paying 3 less. So the cards are already trashed by the time the install goes off. So
right. They're not set aside and then trashed afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking of it as like reveal, install one for 3 less, trash the rest. But no, that's not how it works.
Right. You can see a timely public release in Dan's hand, and there it's getting installed.
Okay. Are we going to get Teia triggers or? Yep. Okay. Some Teia value. So we can assume that's that upgrade is probably like an Anoetic or something like that.
Yeah, I would expect something defensive,
yep.
Especially if Dan is confident enough. I mean, on 11 credits, there's probably some good ice there.
True.
To single advance it, and then Jamie running and finding him a virus.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay.
But
it does trigger Audrey.
Right.
Yep.
It's some nice yin and yang on Jamie's side. Jamie tracks their clicks with these black tokens here. So if you see a card, the token in top of buffer drive, that's the price tracker. And then here, 4th click on the run on HQ. And Dan raising a Saisentan. Jamie's got 4 cards in hand here, so probably not worried about a flatline. So
dumps Jamie's the Kushyuk, which then gets buffer drive to the bottom.
Right, and that pumps Audrey, and then using the virus counter on Audrey to break Saisentan.
Yep. So just 1 net damage, but it is an event. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was an event, yes. It was called event. And also trashing an Abasi. So 2 of the net damage subroutines were trashed by Audrey because there was only a single virus counter on there.
Correct.
And then the 3rd one sniped an event.
Wow.
And Jamie
speaking of sniping.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty fast-paced game in my opinion here.
For sure. And now going after that
drawing a card.
Okay.
After that net damage.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And this does get them down to 2.
So Dan's pretty happy here with a virus in the bin and decent ice, hedge fund to get up money to res whatever. And I would expect that Dan's going to try and score this agenda out here. Oh, wait, no, but he just...
I was going to say, yeah, with the hedge fund.
Gambled.
Oh, seamless.
There we go. Seamless launch.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. I was trying to figure out why you don't... I mean, it is the timely public release, right? Yes.
Right. You definitely want to score that. Yeah, it's interesting. If Dan doesn't sure gamble seamless and just advances, he goes down to, I think he was on 6.
Yeah. 3 is not a lot.
He goes down to 3 credits and he can't rose any of his ice. So that was an interesting play to stay above.
Yep.
Jamie's getting their first Gnat trigger of the game.
Yeah, Dan, they're staying rich, which is always good to protect that R&D. Probably don't need to worry too much about protecting the remote this turn.
Yeah, I don't expect that Jamie's going to pursue trashing the defensive upgrade. Probably just trying to sort of rebuild a little bit, get an Audrey counter maybe, or okay, a leech.
All right, yeah.
That helps a lot with, with a number of things.
I was going to say both of them, really, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And clicking
interesting.
A lot of 3s on Jamie's side of the board. 3 credits, 3 agenda points. 3 cards with 3 installed.
I was going to say the 3 cards with 3. Yeah.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Where's the Kushyuk? Oh, right. The bottom of the deck.
One did get bottomed for sure.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know what shuffle effects are in the deck. Audrey trashing a buffer drive.
To get down to 2 to make
at
money.
At the end of Dan's turn here.
Yep. Which triggers the buffer drive because it is once per turn.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, quite nice. Installing a Paragon here, paying out of hand, as opposed to the price.
Ugh, paying money for things.
Running archives here just to trigger the Paragon effect. Paragon is a console that allows you to gain a credit on the success of a run, as well as to look at the top card of your stack, and if you do, you may add it to the bottom.
It does also give the single charge to Audrey.
That's right. And
Which is not nothing, but...
single charge to Amakua.
Or yes, Amakua, sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking directly at the turtle. And
yeah, so purge. So yeah, the Mavirus purges, but then afterwards you access the cards that you didn't trash, so you get the Amakua counter, which is important. It deals with Tatubola.
Yep.
I'm not sure what other ice it would. Thimble Rig is already 0. It's just Tatubola that just helps with.
But still, it's one step closer to Saisentan or any of the other.
It's a great.
Yeah.
It's a great run with Paragon.
For sure.
Buffer Drive in the list, yeah.
Yeah. It's an easy way to click.
Buffer Drive doesn't interact with that particular run, but that's fine. I haven't seen a whole lot of Paragon just generally about modern decks. Okay, so we install for Dan and a Teia
for value
to save a credit on ice. Yep. And then second click installing something in that now heavily guarded remote. We see another Gnat trigger, and then hey, it's the price again.
Oh, what a shock!
Paragon, DJ Fenris, and Guinea Pig, and District 99. So three cost options in that list. Buffering the DJ Fenris to the bottom.
Don't quite need it yet. The District 99 is interesting.
District 99 is not a card that sees a lot of play these days, but I guess it fits in this deck.
Yeah, with this deck in particular, especially with Jamie using the early labor rights. If that's part of your game plan, then you still need another way to get those key cards that accidentally get trashed to a price out of the bin. And right. District 99 will eventually do that.
It does. It does indeed. Accessing another Mavirus. Oh my God.
Just moves the virus counter over to Audrey.
Yep. And then installs a Daily Cast. There are 2 Mavirus in Dan's list, so that is the last one that we're going to see.
Interesting point. I believe we are now, we are at the maximum 6 cards for Kushyuk.
Yes. So triple advantage from Dan, scoring a Project Yagi Uda 3-2 out of Jinteki that is only really good because it's a 3-2 generally, but in Teia has some special synergy because if you do over advance it, you get to use the trigger to swap an installed card on the runner's turn if they run last click or second to last click, potentially scoring something from a little bit easier the next turn.
Yeah, can also set up things for seamlesses and all that other fun stuff. But
okay, this is
I think it's designed to be used for traps, but
yeah. Or you install something, and if they run it, then you can pull it out from under the rug.
Sure.
Another Gnat trigger there from Jamie. I think that's either the third or fourth time that's Gnat's triggered this game. So, it's an ID. You do have to wonder what other things work here, but like if this was a Lou deck, what that would look like. But also notably a 40-card deck.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually, given how much they're trashing.
Right, but I don't know. Like, Audrey's a one of in the list. I'm not sure if the idea is Audrey or if this is just what happened.
Yeah.
Running HQ and boosting Audrey with a strike fund, which is great.
Which then gets bottom from buffer drive.
Yep, it's coming back. District 99, by the way, can only it only triggers on, there we go, on a hardware or program.
Wait, how are they? But
so Jamie trashed Strike Fund to Audrey to boost and break 2 subroutines, and then took a net damage with Buzzsaw, triggering District 99.
Oh, to the okay. I had missed the losing the Buzzsaw to the net damage. I thought that Jamie was trashing that to boost for some reason.
No,
Very
sorry.
confused.
Accessing a sprint.
All right.
Getting an Amakua and a leech counter.
Which is actually pretty big because now Jamie can use Amakua to break the Saisentan.
That's right.
Combined with the leech.
Yep. And 2 Mavirus in the bin. Jamie's feeling okay about the Amakua being out and like the rig in general. I also noticed that Jamie puts the credit on Nat to remind themselves to take the credit at the beginning of their turn, which is a good practice.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to do it. Yeah, when you end your turn with just 2 or fewer in hand.
Right. Start of turn triggers or everything you can do to kind of unload some of that mental bandwidth to your off time.
For sure.
Yep. I hope Dan's thumb is okay.
I mean, it's not that serious a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's not like a cast.
So we saw, I think, a draw and then click for 2 credits there from Dan. So not a great turn. I think Dan was definitely hoping for an installable there, probably. Maybe drew an agenda, but then now needs to wait. That signs to me that there is something in HQ, but I'm not positive.
I don't know. I mean,
and Jamie's getting the same read, I think.
If you
draw a card,
if you draw an agenda there, why don't you hide it behind your analytic, presumably analytic anyway?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
Maybe it was not
instead of your very porous Saisentan.
It is quite porous, and it has been broken multiple times at this point. Just doing a single net. There's the same sprint.
Oof.
Or was it a different sprint? How many sprints are in this list? I need to find out now.
Well, there's none in the list.
There's none in the list
online, so
that's right.
It must have changed at some point between now and Gnats.
Yeah. Running HQ again.
Just going to keep going for it.
Amakua now, like, having no trouble breaking those 3 subs.
Right.
Accessing a Tatu Bola.
Bola. No luck finding what you can only presume is something. Is there anything? I can't quite see, but I'm not seeing an agenda.
So at this point, Jamie's not really worried about anything as far as ice. I mean, sorry, as far as ice, because Anansi's strength 5, right? So between Leech and the turtle, Amakua, you're okay. You're safe.
Correct.
As long as you have 3 credits.
Yep.
It's a strong engine. Leech and Amakua. Well, it's just it can feel very oppressive as the runner.
Definitely.
Right,
yeah, it feels like you get super, super punished for letting any run succeed.
On centrals, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see an Ate trigger here. There we go.
Yep.
Just an ice. Did you happen to see? Okay, so it's advanced, so this must be an agenda.
The
NGO
published list has NGO fronts, yeah.
Yeah.
So could be that.
Right. And with the first Cusick of the game.
Cusick.
We don't know.
Okay.
Nobody knows. It's not knowable.
That's correct. Yeah.
And I don't know if we've seen, like, did you notice that the credit bounce back that Jamie has now on these daily casts and drip from Nat is
right. That's 5 credits
wild.
A turn.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And they're on 6 credits right now. Not afraid of anything as far as breaks. And Dan with a single piece of ice and 7 credits on hand.
I was going to say that 7 is big because, I mean, there's no Anansi. Not that Jamie's that scared of Anansi, but...
Not to res here. Oh, no.
C6, and you steal 1.
Stealing an offer.
Right up to 5.
2 clicks left here for Jamie on 5 points.
Oh my goodness.
Click 3. Another Cusick. Dan didn't want to res that ice.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's going to leave him pretty broke. But at this point, you really can't let another 6 cards be seen here.
Well, right. But like, I mean, we don't know what that is, right? If that's a Thimble Rig or an Enigma, do you care?
Jamie just realized that they have to boost Audrey with a steel skin to die to an anemone res here.
Yep.
Because they were on one card. Missed a leech counter last run, as well as a missed Paragon trigger.
Oh yeah, Paragon. That's a thing.
Yeah. So they just took a credit in the end. Vampirnasa finally being res, and now we can see why Dan didn't really want to res it before, because it's leaving him on 0 credits. And Jamie's going to pay all 4 credits to their name to break.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that would have been super taxing otherwise, but doesn't leave you with a ton of options.
Nope.
Let's see. That's game. Yep. Steals the 3-2. Wow.
Had to steal the longevity. Yeah, and that was an alt-art NGO front in the server. So Dan did technically have 5 more credits, which maybe makes resing that Vampirnasa slightly less scary. I don't think that I don't think that really saves anything off. Although maybe the loss of the 2 credits. No, it would have gotten broken.
Right.
And
no,
so,
I mean the Vampy doesn't really go off. So
Jamie's rig just got put together pretty fast,
like turn
with those prices.
2, turn 1,
3 prices getting fired in one game in 20 minutes or something.
Yeah. That was wild.
Yeah, it's a really cool deck. I guess not much else to say besides if you are interested in these deck lists, then check out the links in the description. If you enjoyed the game, then stay tuned because we'll have more up soon. I'm working on the 3rd in the series at the moment, and we'll have that up and as soon as we can. Short of that, thanks for joining us here at Neon Static. That's the channel. It's Neon Static. And Nick,
yes.
take us out. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah, always run with your eyes closed, because what you can't see can't hurt you. Boom. Got it in one.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the video. I'm excited to get these rolling. This is a lot of fun. I had a blast watching Gnat do pretty well. Hats off to Jamie for the cool deck idea and good piloting. And for Dan for doing his best against an onslaught of Q-Shook. And I think maybe having a little bit of a bad draw issue as far as agendas are concerned. We want to thank our patrons whose names are scrolling by on the screen right now. If you want to help support the channel, then that is the best way to do that. And if you're interested in joining, then it's patreon.com/neonstatic. Otherwise, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leaving comments, pointing out lines that we were miscalling in our commentary. That's fine too. Nick and I are working on our commentary game. So thanks for bearing with us. Next game in the series is going to feature yours truly playing on stream, which is always a pleasure to edit your own gameplay. Maybe I'll learn something. That should be out in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned to the channel, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.